Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Donald H. Jones Stadium here at the Kiski campus. Today, we're bringing you Kiski soccer against Mercersburg Blue Storm. Kiski's coming in, riding a big win over the past weekend. They were up at Erie McDowell. Came back with a 6-1 victory from Erie from Saturday. Looking to continue our success on the field. Got Mr. Brady McNally again with us up here in the booth today, working the computer and the camera for us. Thank you, Braden. Appreciate you being here. Miss Hughes, Assistant Athletic Director on the clock. Yes, 40 minutes. Have some volunteers down there helping work the sidelines being ball boys. You have Darwin LaPaz. I believe LaPaz is how you pronounce his last name. Darwin's. Francis, I'm not sure how to pronounce Francis's last name either. He's new basketball guy on campus. He's down there helping us out with being a ball boy. We appreciate his help. Santino, lacrosse guy. Brad Horton, lacrosse guy. Bryce Ferguson, lacrosse guy. All helping us out down there being ball boys. First game we had a couple baseball guys helping us. Justin Urban was down there. James Wade Collins was down there. I can't remember who all else was down there. We remember who else helped us in that first game? Oh, Brandon Abreu was down there helping us. Okay, nice. They have baseball practice now, so they needed to switch out. Basketball guys and lacrosse guys came to help us out. Looking forward to an exciting game. Beautiful afternoon here on Salzburg, PA. Weather's about 80 degrees in the afternoon. I don't know what it is now. Ooh, saying 89. We really got up there today. Up there today. We'd like to welcome everybody from all over the place listening. I'm sure we have people down in Dominican, Guatemala. We got some Jamaican boys on the team. Hope you're all out there listening. We look forward to bringing you an exciting game of soccer here this afternoon. Kiski's got a long weekend this weekend, Miss Hughes. Braden, you're pretty excited about that too, huh, Braden? No school on Monday or Tuesday for you, huh? All right. You going home? You staying here? You going staying here for most of it? All right. Any good trips planned this weekend? Ooh, Sky Zone. That sounds like fun. Don't know what else. I'm sure they're going to have some kind of mall trips or wing trips, pizza trips. I think somebody went whitewater rafting there or something on this past Sunday, didn't they? Was you part of that trip? Miss Kim took some people whitewater rafting. That sounded like fun. We went to Power Game on Saturday night. Firework night. Have you ever been to firework night for Pirates? I'll tell you what, impressive. Oh my goodness, the fireworks at Pittsburgh are. Yeah, last firework night of the season. Fireworks in Pittsburgh were amazing. We had I think we had 15 boys went down with us. Everybody's complimenting on how well behaved they were. They all bought Clemente jerseys. You should have saw them all decked out. Made the jumbotron too. They made the jumbotron too. Yeah. Okay, looks like we're getting ready to set to kick off here. Kiski puts the ball in play. Santiago kicks it back to Yang. Feeds it back up through to Santiago, trying to stretch the field. And there's a goal right away for Kiski, number 19, Rayvon Rainford. Rayvon Rainford puts the ball in the net. Kiski on a quick pace here.
He told me not to. He told me to stop it when I scored.
Ray Vaughn, senior from Kingston, Jamaica. First year here at Kiski. I mean, displayed some nice speed there. Mercersburg puts it back into play here. 21 trying to feed it through to number 2. Intercepted by Kiski, but back to Mercersburg. They control the ball, trying to feed it deep, but Yang is there to play it. Ball goes out of bounds to Kiski. Looks like number 3, Misong Park, will have the throw in. Throws it long to Mamadou Tall. Intercepted by Mercersburg. Number 10 for Mercersburg. Well, they got some nice names here. Going to have a hard time pronouncing some names today, Miss Hughes. Oh, we have a new goalie and different goalie today. Matea is starting in goal. Malaton. Militon. How you pronounce it? Malutin. Matea Malutin. He's getting a starting goal today. Mercersburg's controlling the ball now. Cam Hernandez intercepts, looking to stretch the field for Kiski. Kicks it up the sideline to Santiago Valencia. Settles it down. Ooh, makes a move. Still has the ball, dribbling around, looking for space into the middle for Mamadou, but intercepted by Mercersburg. Number 5 for Mercer, but Kiski back. Hernandez has it, looking for room into the middle. Passes it to Rainford. They deemed him offsides. Mercersburg will have a throw, or I believe it's going to be a goal kick. Yes, goal kick for Mercersburg. Number 21 for Mercersburg, Christian Concordia is going to put the ball back in play. I hope I'm pronouncing these names right. Concordia sends it deep. Park gathers it in. Kiski works it around, back to Park, back to the goalie Mulliton. Sends it over to Corletto. Corletto working up the right side, gets a little push in the back. Mercersburg intercepts the ball, bringing it down, but Park is the, or not Park, Yang make that. Has the ball go out of bounds off Mercersburg. Corletto will have a throw in, throws it in, gets it to Tall. Tall working it up that right side, but out of bounds. Kiski will have another throw in. Corletto will pick it up, surveying a scene, throws it back to Yang. Yang to the middle to now Santi has it, kicks it over to Park. Park back to Santiago. Tries to go over everybody's head just a little too far. Tried to feed Hernandez on a deep ball. Goal kick will come up for Mercersburg. Goalie will not kick the ball. He's going to let Concordia kick it again. Still a free kick either way. Here we go. Getting the ball put back in play. Concordia sends it deep. Kiski waiting for it. Park trying to gather it in, but Mercersburg has it. Santi works it off the Mercersburg leg to get Kiski a throw in. Park has the throw in, trying to hit Tall, but not a good pass. But Kiski gathers back to Yang, up to Santi. There's Correa. Feeds Santi into the middle, back to Nahum. Park tries to go up the middle to Tall, but it's sent back to Park. Mercersburg off the head. Running for it. Mulliton comes up and clears the ball deep. Couple off the heads there. And it's sent out of bounds off Mercersburg. Corletto will have a throw in. Corletto, Santi, missed kick, Mercersburg, but there's Hernandez to gather it up. Sakara working down the right sideline. Still has the ball. There's Rainford trying to make some moves. Works around some Mercersburg defenders and puts the ball in the net for a goal. The old shake and bacon basketball is what it's called, and he did a nice job of weaving in and out of some defenders. Rayvon Rainford with his second goal of the game, weaving in and out of Mercersburg defenders. The old shake and bake basketball move, as Miss Hughes would say. Mercersburg puts the ball back in play, intercepted by Santi, who sends it deep, but now Mercersburg goalie sends it back to midfield. Mercersburg working at number 8 to number 5. Oh, a little bit of a trip up there. I think we're going to have a little bit of a foul on Nahum. Nahum Leordis is one of our advisees. We had advisory lunch with him today. Mercersburg puts the ball back in play, sends it down deep into the corner, but Corletta kicks it out, gets it out of the goal area, but Mercersburg has a throw in. Intercepted by Corletta. Up to Hernandez. Hernandez feeds it to Tall. Heel kick for Corletta, but just a little wide. Mercersburg sends it out of bounds, though, setting up a throw in for Kiski. Corletto to Hernandez. Hernandez back to Nahum. Nahum up to Santi. Santi feeding it through. There's Rayvon Rainford again. Hernandez feeding it through to Tall, but the goalie comes out and makes a nice slide and stop to put an end to that Kiski attempt at goal. Goalie kicks it out to midfield. Mercersburg feeds it back, but there's Correa, our man Correa with the green band on. Mulliton sends it over to Corletta. Corletta works the ball up, tries to feed it across the field to Rainford, but just a touch wide and long for him. Mercersburg will have a throw in. Number 6, Sam Menendez with the throw in for Mercersburg. But Park gets it out of bounds. Menendez will throw in again. Looks like he's trying to get it to 2, heads it back, and there's Correa to collect it. He'll send it back to Milliton, kicks it back to Correa, over to Park, feeds it to Santi. Santi working it, but number 5, Grant Wilkinson for Mercersburg, deflects it out of bounds. Park throws it in, looking for Rainford. Little misconnection on the throw there, but Rainford is able to gather it in, working the ball up. Tall tried to heel kick to Hernandez, just missed. There's Santi having a good defense. Mercersburg ball off of Mercersburg out of bounds. Park will throw in. Park trying to get it to Rainford. Mercersburg is right there, kicks it back out of bounds for another Kiski throw in. Park going deep, headed by Mercersburg, and now gathered in. Mercersburg's controlling the ball here. Correa now gets it for Kiski. Park back to Mulliton in the goal box. He kicks it over to Yang. Yang looking to work to the middle of the field to Nahum. Correa gets it back to Mulliton, up to Park. Mercersburg's doing a nice job of pressuring the Kiski defense and not letting them clear the ball above midfield. Mercersburg still has the ball. Looks like can't make out those numbers. 8. There's 6. Menendez. 8. Dylan Stifler. There's number 21. Concordia feeds it to 7. Derek Park, but it's out of bounds. Mercersburg will have the throw in. Derek Park throws in to number 2, sends a high ball to the goal box. Mulliton has it, rolls it out to Santi. Santi gathers it in, sends it back to Mulliton. Mulliton misplays a little bit. Mercersburg still putting pressure on. There's Hernandez. Over to Coletta. Coletta trying to hit the middle of the field. Stumbles a little bit. Gathers the ball in. Correa chases it down on the left side. Sends it back to Yang. Yang into the middle to Coletta. Coletta over to Hernandez. Hernandez back to Yang. Kiski's taking a little time here to survey the field. And let's see if we can get. There goes Mulliton deep for Rainford. Sends a header back to Santi. Santi back to Correa. Over to Nahum. Into the middle for Rainford. Sends it back to Yang, but a little bit wide. Yang chases it down. Again, just surveying the scene. Kiski's up 2-0. Nahum over to Correa. Correa working up the field. Santi into the middle. Did a nice job of bodying off those Mercersburg defenders. Rainford tried to get it around the goalie. Just couldn't corral it enough to make a play there. Ball's out of bounds through the end line. Will give Mercersburg a goal. Oh, no, this will be a corner kick for. Must have went off of Mercersburg. Santi setting up for a corner kick for the Cougars. Sets it to the middle. Headed out by Mercersburg. Nahum gathers it in. Sends it wide to Sakara. Can't gather it, but Mercersburg hits it out of bounds. Kiski will have a throw in. Corletta sends it back to Nahum. Nahum kicks it over to Park. Park sends it down to Santi. Intercepted by Mercersburg. Trying to run up the left side here, but out of bounds to Kiski for a throw in. We have a substitution for Mercersburg. Number 15, Dean Tay, checking into the game for Ewan McDowell. Number 2, Park throws over into Nahum. Hold on. Looks like it was an illegal throw in, or must have crossed the line or something. I didn't see exactly, but they giving the ball to Mercersburg on a throw in now. Menendez getting ready to throw in. Throws it into Concordia. Concordia trying to work that sideline, but pressured hard by Kiski. Rainford turned over to Kiski. Santi throws it in. Nahum now has the ball in the middle of the field, sends it back to Yang. Yang trying to stretch it long for Tall. Tall does keep it in bounds over there on the far side, but not long enough. Off his heel, throw in coming for Mercersburg. Cougars up 2-0, winding down on 25 minutes left in the first half. Concordia gets the throw in, but it's pressured right away by Sakara. Little push. I think they're going to get him with a push in the back there. Had his hand on the back, small of his back. They caught him. Mercersburg will have a free kick from deep in their own end. Looks like Concordia is setting up to take that kick. He's been the guy that's been booting it for him so far in the first half when they're taking these long kicks. That must have been the Clay Breakers leaving in the van, huh? Playbreakers Club. Here goes another van. I think they may have two. Corletta for the Cougars gathers it to Yang, up to Sakara, to the middle of the field. Hernandez, Nahum over to Park. Park to Rainford. Heel kick to Santi, but Mercersburg's there to intercept, but Correa gets it back. Correa back to Rainford. Kind of misplays it a little bit, but no pressure right now. Back to Mulliton. Over to Yang. Yang, nice feed to Hernandez. Hernandez go with a deep drive looking for Santi. Santi brings it in. Drive on goal and scores! Over the goalie head. Santi from about 30 yards out puts it over the goalie's head to make it 3-0 Cougars with just under 24 minutes left in the first half. Beautiful shot by Santiago Valencia. Santiago Valencia, junior from Medellin, Colombia. Cougars get the ball. Mulliton sends it over to Correa. Correa to Yang. Yang trying to feed the middle. Intercepted by number 5 of Mercersburg, but right back to the Cougars. Trying to figure out, nice move by Sakara to gather the ball. Nahum has it, feeds it over to Park. Park up to Rainford. Rainford's going to gather it and send it. No, intercepted by number 8, Stifler of the Blue Storm, but it's just long, and the Cougars will have a goal kick. Nice play by Stifler there to intercept that ball. Put a little pressure on for the Blue Storm. Yang now with the Cougars feeds it up to Sakara, but back to Yang. Yang's going to feed it back to Mulliton, and he's going to put it into the middle to Nahum. Nahum makes a move into open space, feeds it to Rainford, back into the middle for Santi. It's back to Rainford, and they got a break going, but it looked like Mamadou was a little offside, so he slowed down, so they didn't have the dead ball there. Goalie picks it up for Mercersburg, kicks it out, trying to send it to midfield. Santi, nice job of gathering it off his chest, trying to keep it in bounds, but pressured nicely by Wilkinson of the Blue Storm. It'll get Mercersburg a throw in. Menendez will be throwing it in for the Blue Storm. Once again, Santi's there to pressure that, but Concordia for the Blue Storm gathers it in and feeds it across to 15, but he's pressured by Nahum. Nahum feeds it up to Sakara. Sakara looking for Tall, but intercepted by the Storm. But Tall eventually does get it back. Nahum putting the pressure on, but nice play by the goalie to take it right off of his foot. Rolls it up to Concordia, but Sakara's there to intercept and head it back the other way. Puts a drive on the net, but just wide, out of bounds, giving a throw or a goal kick for the Blue Storm. Blue Storm goalie getting ready to put the boot on it. Drives it into the middle. 15 heads it, but Corletta is able to gather it in for the Cougars. Sends it back to Santiago, over to Nahum, back to Yang. Yang feeds it back to Milton, over to Correa. Correa up to Park, over to Hernandez in the middle, feeds it to Rainford. Rainford gathers it in, looking for Mamadou, but intercepted by Wilkinson. Wilkinson tries to get it into the Cougar territory, and does, but it's intercepted by the Cougars. Hernandez back to Rainford, over to Correa. Correa to Yang. Yang feeds the middle to Santi. Has to evade a Storm defender. Gets out of that trap. Well, nice give and go with Sakara. Back to Santi, but Mercersburg intercepts and sends it deep out of bounds for Cougar throw in, and it looks like Yang's going to throw in. We got a host of Blue Storms checking in. Number 2, McDowell. Number 7, Park. And number 10, it looked like. Number 10 is Kim. Goes in. Cougars with a throw in. Tall gathers it. He's at midfield. Sends it over to Park. Still at midfield. Approach. Going deep for Tall. Just a little too far. Goalie sends it back to midfield. Corletta pressuring the Blue Storm. There's Sakara and Corletta working together to get the ball back to Naham. But there's the Storm to send it deep. Clearing the ball deep. Correa heads it to keep it out of trouble for the Cougars. Heel kick by Santi, a little fancy there, but the Storm intercept. But there's our man Correa, always back where he needs to be on defense. Santi putting the pressure on, but Menendez gathers it. Now Concordia over to 8. Stifler. Cleared by Yang. Number 2, McDowell, but intercepted by Sakara. Hernandez over to Naham. Naham feeds it up to Santi. Santi weaves around Concordia. Feeds it to Rainford. Rainford working the middle of the field. Tries to go to Tall, but intercepted by the Blue Storm. Back to midfield, but the Cougars get it back right away. And now we're back in Storm territory. Rainford and Hernandez misplay a little bit there. But Correa will run it down for the Cougars, sending it back to Milliton in the goal. And then he sends it back to midfield for Park, who has a nice feed to Rainford. But looked like number 6 there, or is that number 5? Nice defensive play there by the Blue Storm defender to keep the Cougars from advancing any further. And it's back to Milliton. Milliton sends it to Corletta. Corletta weaves through, gets it to Hernandez. Hernandez surveys the screen, tries to feed one to Tall, but there's Menendez to intercept. Milliton for the Cougars sends it up to Park. Park looking to go long for Santi. Feeds it to Rainford. Whoa, nice heel kick feed to Rainford. But 19, Simon Brennan for the Blue Storm was there to intercept that chance for the Cougars. Looks like ball is being played over on the far side. Milliton there for the Cougars, but the Blue Storm send it back. Or there's Milliton, the goalie. I'm sorry, that was Nahum. There's Nahum. Sends it to Corletta. Corletta to Sakara. Back. Nice feed back to Corletta. Stretches the field to Tall. Tall circling around some defenders. Tries to feed the middle, but it's intercepted by the Blue Storm and heading back this way. Nahum there for the Cougars defense to Yang. Back to Corletta. Sends it back to Yang. To Nahum. Correa. Over to Park. Park feeds it to Tall, but just off his foot. And 19, Brennan for Mercersburg sending it out of bounds, giving the Cougars a throw-in. Looks like Park is going to take the throw-in. Sends it to Santi. Santi surveying the scene, tries to thread the defense. Still has it, but sends it back to midfield to Correa. Correa over to Yang. Yang looking to go to Tall. just not being able to control that. Oh, long pass. Looks like Mercer. No, there's Correa. Recovers nicely. Sends it back to Mulliton. Mulliton over to Yang. Yang sends it back to Mulliton. Mercersburg again putting the pressure on in their end, making it hard for the Cougars to break midfield. But here comes Hernandez. Now he goes deep for Rainford, but there's Mercersburg goalie to send it out of bounds into the stands and setting up the Cougars with the throw in here at midfield. Park, we taking this throw in. Not until we have a substitution for Mercersburg, number 17, Vev Rayo in the game. Number 10, Kim checks out. Cougars, nice pressure by Rainford to gather it in, but the Stormer there also. Naham getting held a little bit. I guess that's all legal. I'm not real sure of what the rules are. Concordia breaking free for the Storm. Still has the ball. Tries to send it through, but there's Mulliton. Throws a pass out to Sakara. Sakara feeds it to Tall. Tall working the middle of the field over to Hernandez. Hernandez zigs it back the other way. Feeds it into space to Corletta. Corletta gathers it in, bringing it into the middle. Still working the ball into the middle. Feeds it to Tall. Tall over to Rainford. Rainford to Santi. Santi being pressured, but tried to feed one through, but headed out by Mercersburg. Rainford gathers it back in for the Cougars. Over to Santi. Tries to feed one to Tall. Just missed. Looked like it hit off of a Storm defender, but I wasn't not real sure. It might be setting up a corner kick here. Are we getting a corner kick? We are. So corner kick coming for the Cougars. Hernandez looks like he's setting up for this corner kick. Hernandez, corner kick from the far side. Looks like they got Correa, Tall, and Sakara in the box, but it's sent deep. Tall heads it. Just, went wide, out of bounds, through the end line. So the Blue Storm will have a goalie kick. But they're going to defer and let Concordia kick it again. He's been their man for these kicks. Concordia has a pretty strong leg on him. He's been getting it to midfield or beyond every time. Low liner this time. Intercepted by Hernandez. Nice job of putting his leg out there and deflecting that ball. Corletta tries to gather it in, but the Storm have it. Attacking the far side of the field. Correa doing a nice job of keeping the Storm wide, and Santi cleaning it up, sends it out of bounds deep. Storm will have a corner kick. They elect to take it quickly, and Correa gets it high, and Mercersburg sends it out of bounds, giving the Cougars a goalie kick. Number 2, McDowell over there, tried to connect, just sent it wide. Mulliton setting for a goalie kick. Tall checked out for the Cougars. Number 27, Jair Williams from Johannesburg, South Africa, checks into the game. Correa over to Naham. Naham to Park. Park working it up the field. Tries to go deep. Just too far for the Cougars. Mercersburg goalie will gather it. I'm sure he's going to take a nice free punt here and see where he can get the ball. Punts it. Low line drive again. Corletta's there to head it to Naham. Over to Correa. Correa feeds it to Naham in the middle. Working over to Park. Park up the sideline, but intercepted by Menendez to Wilkinson. Tries to feed it through. Mercersburg on the run, but there's Mulliton to send it back out of trouble. Nahum gathers it in, back to Correa. Correa over to Yang. Yang to Hernandez. Hernandez fins it back to Nahum into the middle to Rosado. Rosado stretching it to Rainford. Rainford, nice try on goal. Stopped one-handed by the goalkeeper. Nice save by the goalie there to keep the score 3-0 Cougars. 9 minutes and winding in the first half. Santiago Valencia setting up for a corner kick. Cougars will be putting it in play. Sends it into the middle. Deflected out by McDowell of the Blue Storm, bringing it up the field. Still stretching the field, but Corletta is there to stop that. They're going to call him. I think they're going to call him for a hold over there. Rosado had a little bit too much of a. Going to have free kick for the Storm. It looks like can't see that number. My eyes are getting bad. 13. Gabe McGuire had that free kick, but Rainford gathers it in for the Cougars now, and he's running through the middle of the field. Free run. Tried to hit Williams just too far, but it will be a Cougar throw-in as the ball went off of a Blue Storm. Santiago Valencia over there for the free throw-in. Looks like he has Hernandez standing over there with him, Rainford over there with him, Williams in the middle. See where he goes with it, trying to get it, throws it to space. Nobody really there, but there comes Rainford in late to gather it over to Park. Park sends it to Nahum. Nahum over to Corletta. Corletta to Hernandez. Hernandez back to Corletta. Tries to feed it to Nahum, but it's intercepted by the Blue Storm, number 8, Stiffy. There's Concordia having a go with Nahum, but Nahum has him a little bit of a hold. So Concordia will put the ball back in play with a free kick for the Blue Storm. Drives it deep. But there's Corletta. Kick it back to Mulliton. Mulliton will pick it up. Rolls it over to Yang. Feeds it to Nahum in the middle. Sends it back to Correa, who gives it back to Mulliton. Now he sends it deep. Looking for Rainford and Williams. Ball's being headed up and down, but Rainford finally gathers it in for the Cougars, weaving through some Blue Storm, and it looks like he was tripped up. They're going to call it. Give the ball back to the Cougars. Rainford's still laying on the field here. Rayvon Rainford being attended to by the trainers, Kiski trainers, Mr. E. Bob Eckenrode out there. We have a couple student interns from IUP come down to help out. Looks like Rainford's up. He's hobbling it off. He's going to walk it off. He'll be back in the game. So Rainford's going to check out of the game, and it looks like number 18, Rodrigo Degano, checks in for Rainford. Rosado feeds it up. Zach Corletta feeds it to Williams. Couldn't corral it, and the goalie comes up with a big save to keep the Cougars off the board again. There's Correa feeding it over to Santiago, trying to weave through, but Concordia intercepts for the Blue Storm. There's Naham getting it back for the Cougars. Over to Santiago. Settles it down a little bit, feeds it back to Park. Park back to Correa. Correa over to Yang. Yang looks like he's trying to feed it into the middle to Rosado. Up the side to Hernandez. Hernandez feeds it across to, and there's Santi with another try on goal, but nice save by the Blue Storm goalie. Ball goes out of bounds. Throw in for the Cougars. Played it in quickly, but another save by the Blue Storm goalie. Degano had a nice try on goal, but the Blue Storm goalie was up for the task. Rosado heads it back in, but the Blue Storm gather it. Number 17 for the Blue Storm sends it forward. Looks like Stifler will have it for the Blue Storm on a throw-in. Feeds it into the middle of the field. Nobody there. Correa does a nice job of fending off the Blue Storm attackmen and getting the ball back to Militon. Now Santi into the middle of the field. Rosado. Lots of room to run. Still lots of room to run. Going deep. Santi. Nice spin move. Still got the ball on his foot. Rosado with the goal, with the kick to the goal, but again, Mercersburg goalie makes a save. Concordia up to 17. Just 17 is Rayo out of his reach. Cougars throw in. Park back to Correa. Correa over to Yang. Yang sends a deep drive for Corletta. Gathers it in. Settles it down. Brings it to the middle. Takes a drive, but right off of a Mercersburg defender. And then he's stripped of the ball by Concordia. Concordia racing through to the middle of the field, but Naham is right there to stop him and get the ball back for the Cougars. Sends it back to Yang. Yang at midfield. Still surveying. Feeds the middle to Corletta. Storm send it back out, but there's the Cougars. Rosado bringing it back into Cougar territory. Weaves around a few defenders. Sends it on to goal, but there's Menendez to bail out his goalie and kick it out of bounds through the end line, giving the Cougars a corner kick. Rosado corner kicks it. Ooh, nice. Degano got up there and got a head on it. Over to Correa, back to Degano, to Park. Park sends it across. Nice goal. No, being waved off. Rosado put it in, but they called him offside. It was a nice feed. Nice feed by Park. Rosado did a nice job of gathering in and put it into the net. It was just a little bit offside there. Take that goal off the board. Number 4. Now Rosado gets it back for the Williams. Has it. Tried to feed Degano, but it's out of bounds. Blue Storm throw in. Wilkinson tries to feed it up to 17 by Rao, but it's intercepted. Back to Correa. Correa back to Naham. Naham over to Park. And Park back to Correa. Correa sends it back to Mulliton. Mulliton up to Park to midfield. Feeds it up to Santi. Santi goes across. Rosado, nice Nice feed there, but just a little too far, and the goalie was able to make the stop. Winding down with just over a minute left in the first half. Goalie sends a deep high ball to midfield. Cougars, nope, Concordia gets it back. Now Degano gets it for the Cougars. Feeds it up. Back to Degano. Degano trying to weave through some Blue Storm defenders, but gets nowhere with that. Wilkinson. No, stripped by Santiago. Santi doing some nice moves. Over to Williams. Williams had some moves. Had a shot on goal, but deflected by the Mercersburg defender. Williams gets it back. Degano gets it. Another drive off of a Mercersburg defender. Gather it up into the corner, but send it out of bounds. Kiski throw in. Hernandez over to Corletta. Corletta sends it back to Correa. Correa over to Valencia. Valencia sends it deep, but Mercersburg, Menendez sends it out. And here's Corletta, gathers it in, sends it over to Hernandez. Hernandez gets it on the side over there, but that's the end of the half. That's the end of the first half with the score. Kiski Cougars 3, Mercersburg Blue Storm 0. We're going to have a 10-minute half. Everybody go out and get yourself some nice refreshments and come on back. We'll be back in a few minutes. Welcome back to Donald H. Jones Stadium here on the Kiski campus down in Salzburg, Pennsylvania. Got a minute, about a minute left before the end of the half here. Uh, Cougars leading Mercersburg Blue Storm 3-0. When the Cougars and the Blue Storm get together, we play for what's called the Centennial Cup. Um, Centennial Cup is to celebrate the over 100 years. It was developed in 2013 to celebrate the 100 years of competition between the two schools, and it's a year-long competition to where if you win the game, your school gets a point, and at the end of the year, whoever has the most points wins the cup. Uh, Mercerburg had the cup for some years in a row, and last year Kiski was fortunate enough to come away with the cup. Um, so we are hoping that we can add a point to our side. There's Concordia for the Blue Storm as we start the second half, sends it deep down the right side, out of bounds. Kiski will have a throw in. Park looks like he's getting set to be the guy throwing in for the Cougars. Throws a long ball into space, but the Blue Storm are there to get it out, but not far enough as Tall intercepts and is racing down the side. Has some Cougars with him, but nice defensive play by the Blue Storm to get it out of trouble. But there's a Cougar. We got some new guys in for the Cougar. Oh, a little push there by Stifler of the Blue Storm. Cougars will have the ball back. We do have some new Cougars in the game. I'll have to get some numbers. Number 8, Wesley Chung in the game for the Cougars. There's Valencia, nice sliding strip to get the ball back. Yang has it, trying to weave through traffic. Looked like he was held a little bit, and that's exactly what the call is going to be. Free kick. Cougars have it. Dimitri Cates, 17 in the game, up to Sakara. Sakara weaving through traffic, still weaving, still has the ball on his foot, sends it over to Rosado. Rosado not able to work through there, but Sakara gets the ball back, sends a drive on goal, but deflected by the Storm. Number 21 for the Cougars. Let's see. Alejandro Quezada. Is that it? Quezada? I'm not real sure how to pronounce it, but we're going to go with that. Sakara gets the ball back for the Cougars. There's Wesley Chung. Feeds it to Rosado, but the Blue Storm have a wall of defenders in the way and deflect it out. Tall has it on his foot now, weaving through traffic. Tripped up. Back to, nice drive on goal by number 21, Quezada. 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 That's how I'm going to go with it, huh? Got a nice drive on goal there either way. Williams has it on his foot now. Still gets around a couple defenders. Back to Quezada. Sends it out. Wesley tried to get it, but McDowell for the Blue Storm gathers it in. Aggressively stolen back by Williams of the Cougars. Sends a drive, but deflected off of a Blue Storm defender. Rosada for the Cougars gets it in to Tall. Tall puts it into goal for the Cougars, bringing the score to 4. Neal, Cougars. Tall looks like he's limping a little bit there. Must have came down on an ankle or something after he let go of that shot. Beautiful shot to get it past the goalie. It's outstretched hands there. He's all right. He's going to stay in the game. He's going to stay in the game. He's giving everybody waves and smiles. I think he's all right. So goal by Mamadou Tall brings the score to 4-0 Cougars. Concordia sends it back in for the Blue Storm, down to Wilkinson, defended by Chung. Now Cates defending number 7, Park. Out of bounds with the Cougars. Park for the Blue Storm is going to throw it in. Sends it deep to Stifler, but intercepted by Chung. Back to Cates. Cates weaving through some defense. Over to Wesley Chung. Up to Sakara, but off his foot out of bounds. Wilkinson will throw in for the Blue Storm. Sends it back to Concordia, but not before Sakara can intercept. He'll kick back by Tall, and then he feeds him back deep. Tall running down the left side, gathers it in, stays on side, feeds it into the middle, but cleared out by the Blue Storm. Out of bounds. It'll go to the Cougars for a throw-in. Chung throws it into Santiago. Santi sends it over to Quezada. Quezada in the middle, over to Park. Park up to Williams. Williams gathers it. Still has it on his foot. No, over to Park. Park. Oh, deflected by Stifler of the Blue Storm, but there's Yang to gather it back in. Feeds it into the middle to Rosado. Rosada sends it on goal. Oh, just over the goal crossbar. Nice drive on goal there by number 10. It says Jorge on here, but I think he's the one that goes by George, is he not? Either way, that was a heck of a drive on goal. Just a little bit too high. Almost hit the crossbar. Goalie sends it out, but there's Rosado. Concordia gathers it in for the Blue Storm. But Sakara is putting pressure on, gets it back for the Cougars, dancing around that side, being held a little bit, fends him off with his off arm. Sakara still dribbling. He grabbed him a little bit. Oh, got a little push there. Concordia will put it back in play for the Blue Storm. We'll have a kick deep from his own territory. Sends it over to the goalie, back to Concordia. Concordia up to 13. Over to Wilkinson, number 5. Sends it deep. Stifler trying to run, but there's Mulliton to send it back deep. Out of play. Good play by Milliton to get it out of trouble. Blue Storm will throw in. Trying to get it, but there's Wesley. Kicks it back out of bounds. 14. Noah Drenner will have the throw in for the Blue Storm. Substitution, number 9. Chris Carbone in for the Blue Storm. Santi has it. Yang is stripped by Stifler. Stifler puts a drive on the goal and scores for the Blue Storm. Nice play by Mr. Stifler there for the Blue Storm. Dylan Stifler. He's the captain of the Blue Storm. Senior from Huntington, PA. Had a nice strip and put it into the goal. Brings the score to 4-1 now. 4-1 Cougars. But there's Yang, gets tripped up. Tripped up by Stifler. Yang looks like he'll get up. Put the ball back in play by Quezada. Over to Cates. Cates up to Chung. Chung trying to look through. Gets it through the middle to Santiago Valencia. Over to Rosada. Back to Valencia. Oh, he's being held, but slowed down. Up to Tall. Heel kicks into the middle for Valencia. But there's the Storm. Quezada for the Cougars. Back to Chung, but there's Stifler. Nope. Cates for the Cougars. Over to Yang. Back to Cates. Cates sends it up to Sakara, but no, he lets it go for Chang in space. Nice play. Chang gathers it on the right side, looking for something into the middle, tries to get around the defender, sends a nice pass into the middle, chested off for Tall, but out sent out by the Blue Storm. Quezada back to Sakara. Sakara over the middle, but headed out by Menendez. Park gathers it in for the Cougars, brings it back to Williams. Williams over to Quezada, back to Park. Park sends a drive into the middle, but cleared by the Blue Storm. Number 8, Stifler, sends it over to Park. Ooh, pushed down. Play is let to go on. Park for the Blue Storm has it. Tackled, but no, they're going to get him this time. And the Blue Storm will have a throw in. Rosada just got a little aggressive there, and they're going to give him the free kick out where the original foul happened. And it looks like Concordia will be the guy putting a boot to it again. Concordia sends it up to 14. 14 running away from Sakara, but not enough. It went off his arm, and they didn't call it. They didn't call that handball. Over to Yang. Yang to Quezada. Quezada gets around the defender. Over to Santiago. Santiago back to Yang. Yang up into the middle. Tall gathers it in for the Cougars. Over to Quezada. Quezada trying to thread through some defenders, but cleared back by the Blue Storm. Now Cates sends it high off of his foot. Rosada off his shoulder over to Tall. Tall to Valencia. Valencia to Quezada. Quezada feeds it up to, I can't see that. No, that's Williams. Williams takes a tumble, but Rosada gets it back for the Cougars, sends it to the goal, but the goalie for Mercersburg's there to make the stop. He'll look to have I think he's going to punt it out of here. And he does. Punts it high, not quite to midfield. Quezada heads it, but Stifler for the Blue Storm gathers it in, but there's the Cougars. Valencia over the Chung. Chung tries to feed one to Tall, but intercepted by Wilkinson. Wilkinson over to Concordia. There's McDowell but there's Rosado for the Cougars. Over to Chung. Chung up to Sakara. Sends it across the field in space to Williams. Williams looks to get around, but no. Concordia is there for the Blue Storm. Sends it over to Chung. Chung gets around the defender, but sends it back out to Rosada. Sends it back into Sakara. Over to Chung. Chung back to Sakara. Sakara sends a feed into the middle and off of a Blue Storm leg and into the goal. I don't know if that hit a Cougar in there. I couldn't really see. It definitely deflected off of somebody. Sakara putting the ball on net with the deflection into the goal, bringing the score to 5-1 Cougars. As of now, we'll give that to Sakara. I don't know if that hit off of a Cougar or a Blue Storm into the middle, but it definitely deflected off of somebody and got into the back of the goal, making a score of 5-1. Just under 28 minutes left in the game. Concordia sends it deep for the Blue Storm, but Chung's there to head it out of bounds, giving the Blue Storm a throw-in. Drenner throws in, but there's Chung to defend, but back out of bounds. Throw in again for the Blue Storm. Drenner throws it in to Stifler. Misplayed, out of bounds. Cougar ball. Sakara, no. Chung will take the throw in. Tries to go deep, but no. I think that was an illegal throw of some sort. I'm not real sure what happened. But the Blue Storm will have the ball back. Drenner throws it in. Stifler now gets it, and he'll have the throw in. Are we out? Audio's still good, but we don't have any camera. Uh-oh. I'm sorry, folks. I'll still announce for you, but I'm sorry about the video difficulty. I'm not sure what happened. Santiago's putting pressure on for the Cougars. Sakara gets the ball, feeds it up to Tall. Tall making a run, but they call him offsides. Tall, they call offsides. Sorry for the visual difficulty, folks. I will do the best I can to fill you in without any video here. Con- Concordia puts the ball back in play for the Blue Storm down deep into Cougar territory. Blue Storm kicking it around, but there's Cates of the Cougars to clear it back out. Williams up, just stepped out of bounds over there on the far side. Blue Storm, Menendez getting ready for the throw in. Throws it in. Looked like Yang sends it back to the midfield for the Cougars, but there's Concordia for the Blue Storm. Yang, the Cougars. Rosado over to Tall, and now Williams making a run down the field into the middle, tripped up. Santiago's tripped up in the middle of the field, could not connect that pass, and it looks like, I'm not sure what we're going to have here. Maybe a free kick. I'm not sure. Yeah, it'll be a free kick from about 25 yards out. I think we're back on video now. Yes? Yes, we're back. Welcome back, folks. Sorry for the video problems. I think I might have just got a little excited and pulled a cord out or something. I apologize for that. I get worked up here in the booth. I pace a lot and, just a ball of energy. You know me, right? So Santiago Valencia setting up for a free kick. Puts a drive on goal, but it's just a little high. Oh, I mean, if it was a football, it would have been 3 points because it went right through the goalpost. But we're not playing football, and so no, we are playing football. So yes, we're just not playing American football. And Mercersburg puts the ball back in play. Nope, put it a little. They started a little too early. There, and we're gonna have a restart. Now we're ready. Refs are ready, and Mercersburg's bringing it out, sending it up the far side. Menendez trying to feed it through, and that looks like Stifler. But Mulliton is going to be there. No, slipped a little bit, but Cougars work it out. Quezada up to Williams. Williams trying to thread through some defenders, but no, Concordia strips them of the ball. Trying to dance around some Cougar defenders. Santiago deflected it off course enough to where Cates could clear it back for the Cougars. And now Santiago gathers it in, pressured, but Drenner does a nice job of keeping them from advancing, pokes it out of bounds, and the Cougars will have a throw in. Javier Bustos Pina with the throw in, sends it deep for the Cougars, and the goalie for Mercersburg Blue Storm will gather it in. So we have a bunch of new Cougars out on the field. Punt to midfield from Mercersburg goalie. Tried to be gathered in by Wilkinson, but Santiago Valencia intercepts down the right side for the Cougars, but kicked out of bounds by Gabe McGuire of the Blue Storm. Throw in back to Santiago. Nice feed, give and go feed. Tall with the ball in the middle on his foot and works around some defenders and puts it into goal for another Cougar goal. 6-1 Cougars. Nice footwork by Tall in the middle to keep that ball and not let it get stripped from him. Good feed by Valencia. Just nice teamwork all around. Wouldn't you say, Miss Hughes? What do you think, Braden? Looks, Braden's agreeing. He's shaking his head, giving me the thumbs up. I mean, he's smiling. Everybody's happy up here in the booth. And the Blue Storm put it back in play. Drenner works around Sakara, but can't keep the ball in bounds. And the Cougars will have a throw in. Pina back to Cates. Cates over back to Pina. Feeds it into the middle to Rosado. Over to Santiago Valencia. To Quesada. Putting pressured on by the Storm, but back to Yang. Yang gathers it in for the Cougars. Works it back to Cates. Cates looking for some room. No, he'll just put it back to Pena into the middle for Sakara, but stolen by McDowell of the Blue Storm. Tries to feed it into the middle for Stifler, but the Cougars are there and bringing it back the other way. Valencia deflected off at Concordia, but Chung gathers it in and feeds a long pass to Williams. Gathers it in, feeds a middle into the middle to Rosado. That was a heck of a feed. And what a play by Williams to gather that in and have a centering pass to Rosado to put it into the goal, bringing the score to 7-1. Cougars coming just over 20 minutes left in the half, or the second half, that is. So 20 minutes left in the game. Beautiful pass there by Williams. Nice hustle to run it down, too. I thought that ball was going to get out of bounds. Concordia for the Blue Storm has it midfield, sends it back to Menendez, feeds it through to Stifler, to Concordia, back to Stifler. New guy in there, number 4. That would be Gavin McGuire. So we have 2 McGuires. We have a Gavin McGuire and a Gabe McGuire for the Blue Storm. Same hometown. I'm guessing they're brothers. But we don't know. Quezada over to Chung. Chung being pressured by the Blue Storm. Feeds it back. Menendez clears it for the Blue Storm. Back to Cates of the Cougars. Feeds it into the middle to Valencia. Valencia has it on his foot. Still dancing with it. Brings it back. No. Stifler there in the middle to intercept that pass. Working it up, but Yang forces him wide. Feeds it over to Chung. Chung to Quezada to Valencia. Pena up to Tall. Over to Valencia. Valencia working the middle, trying to go back to Tall, but intercepted by the Blue Storm. Sent out of bounds. Cougars will have a throw in. Looks like Chung will throw in. Yang gathers it. Works the ball into the middle of Valencia. Valencia working around a few defenders to Rosado. Up to Sakara. Tries to feed it through. But there's number 13, Gabe McGuire, kicking it out of bounds for the Blue Storm. Number 12 of the Blue Storm sends it back to middle field. Stifler tried to get it, but Chung for the Cougars was able to gather it in. Over to Cates now. Cates feeding it up to Valencia. Valencia, there goes Santi, putting on some footwork. Nice heel kick back by Rosado. Then Valencia off the left foot into the top right corner with another Cougar goal. Beautiful goal by Valencia. Gathered it in, left foot, crossed his body into the top right corner. Nice goal by Santiago Valencia. Putting the score now, Cougars 8, Blue Storm 1. Just under 18 left in the game, and with that goal, Valencia checks out. Tall checks out. Sakara checks out. We have not more new guys in. Degano back in the game for the Cougars. Looks like number 24, my man Pepe. Actually, Jose Alonso Campos is his name. We call him Pepe around here. But he's in the game. Number 24. Number 30. Oh, Gail. Sonley. Is that how you say his last name? Sonley? He's in my dorm. I'll tell you what, he's a nice guy. He's a good worker, too. He's a real nice guy. I like him. From Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Nice little sophomore out there. He works hard. He's asked me all the time about different workouts, how he can get better and stronger and everything. He's all about it. Cougars. Chung has the ball over on the far side. Nope. They're going to have to restart. They started a little too early. Yang puts it in play to to Cates. Cates running it up through the middle, feeds it to Rosado. Rosado looking to feed Williams on a pass, but there's my man. Gathers it in, feeds it into the middle to Williams. Williams trying to put it on goal. No. Mercersburg clears it out. Degano puts it on goal, but no. Mercersburg defender off of his hip and sends it deep. Mulliton will gather it in for the Cougars. Over to Yang. Yang back to Cates. Cates over to Yang. I'd imagine the Cougars are just going to kind of waste time here and get this game over with. I don't see them trying to attack all that much anymore, but you never know. Quezada up. There's my man Gale. Rosada trying to feed it back into the middle, but no. Quezada has it. Over to Gagano. Degano drops it to Chung. Chung feeds it in the middle, but there's the nice play by, I can't see his number, but he fed it back to the goalie. Who is that? It was a nice play by this guy here by Mercersburg over there, number 13. Well, that's our guy McGuire. Gabe McGuire had a nice goal, a nice play back there to stop that goal, feed it back to his goalie. What's that? No, I'm good. I don't need to light. I got their names almost all memorized by now. I don't. Concordia looks like he's going to put the ball back into play for the Blue Storm. Park for Blue Storm's checking back in. And number 4, the younger McGuire guy checking back out. Got some good minutes in there by young Mr. McGuire for Mercersburg. Good to see them getting some guys playing time. Looks like number 5 Wilkinson's getting ready to check back in for Blue Storm also. Concordia sent it deep. Looked like it went off the head of either McDowell or Stifler over there. Through the end line will give the Cougars a goal kick. It looks like he's just going to punt it. Nope, he's going to goal kick it. Sends it over to Yang. Yang taking his time to Cates. Cates works it up to Pena. Pena tries to feed it through to Gale, but out of bounds off of McGuire of the Blue Storm. And we're going to have a throw in by the Cougars. Number 15, Gabe Cackmore into the game for the Cougars. Throws it in. There's Concordia for the Blue Storm to intercept it and get it back for them. Back to Wilkinson, but there's Pepe intercepting it. The Cougars off of, they called it off of Drennan of the Blue Storm. Gives it back to the Cougars. Pepe takes the throw in from Cackmore. And there's Stifler on the intercept, but, he does keep it in bounds. Works around Cates, still has it on his foot. And Cates doing a nice job of defending back there, keeping the ball wide. But the Blue Storm will have a throw in. Throws into Concordia. Stifler has it, trying to dance around. Cackmore sends a nice centering pass. Oh, beautiful centering pass there by Stifler. Almost connected with Raul. It's a nice play by the Blue Storm there. Mulliton. He'll take the goalie kick. Another sub situation. 10 and 9 checking back in for the Blue Storm. They've been substituting a lot of players throughout the day. Number 10 is Kim. Number 9, Chris Carbone, back in the game for the Blue Storm. There's Degano sending it deep for the Cougars, but the goalie tries to kick it out and hit it right off of Williams, keeping it into Cougar territory. Degano back on his foot, over to Pepe. Pepe sends it back to Yang. Yang brings it up to Degano. Degano weaving through traffic. Still has it. Still weaving. Now he's just in space, and he's going to send it over here to Cackmore. Sends it down to Gale. Nope, back to space. Pepe gathers it in, and he's going to just send it back to Cates. Cates over to Yang. Yang working up the field, still working up the field. It's going to work it into traffic, get it to Degano into the middle, trying to send it back to Yang on a give and go, just a little too far, and the goalie from Mercersburg picks it up. Looks like he's going to punt it down the field. There he goes, low punt, and Kakmar's right there to get it back, but Concordia sends it back to the goalie of the Blue Storm, and now he sends it back deep again. Penna intercepts. No, Park for the Blue Storm has it. And Degano for the Cougars sends it to Quezada. Back to Pina. Pina through traffic, intercepted by the Blue Storm. Stifler has it. Trying to weave through traffic himself. No. Had a little hold there on Mr. Yang. And the Cougars will have the ball. I guess the hold wasn't on Mr. Yang. Mr. Yang was being held, but. And now he sends it over to Chung. Wesley Chung. Wesley Chung went to Walmart with me the other day, Miss Hughes. Yeah, he was one of my Twix suppliers. Yes, him and Mr. Correa from the soccer team were some of my Twix suppliers. I have 5 of them left. Blue Storm will have, no, Cougars will throw in Kakmar to Quezada. Quezada, back to Kakmar, but he was out of bounds. Kakmar, no, they give it to the Cougars, throws it into Quezada. Quezada dancing through some Blue Storm, still has it. Back to Kakmar. Kakmar sends it over to Pepe. Pepe in the middle, dancing around with it. Nice footwork by Pepe. And sends it back to Yang. Yang up to Park. Park down the side. No. Turns it back. Sends a centering pass. Headed by Pena, but the goalie's there to make a stop. Mercersburg goalie with the punt. Deep, high punt to midfield. But Yang off his foot sends it back. Wilkinson for the Blue Storm. Tries to feed a pass to Stifler, but kicked out of bounds by Cates. Nice job of Cates of being there on the defense. Stifler throws in to Concordia. Intercepted by the Cougars. Pepe up to Quezada. Quezada to Degano. Degano working the middle of the field. Up to Pena. Pena sends a drive deep for Gale, but there's Mercersburg goalie again to make another good play to stop that scoring chance. Kicks it deep on the punt. Cates will gather it for the Cougars, being pressured by Stifler of the Blue Storm, and Cates sends it back to Mulliton. Mulliton over to Yang. Yang feeds it up to Quezada. Nice little, tried to get it to Chung on a nice little go there. Ball's back deep in our territory, but I think they're going to call the Blue Storm for an offside there. Not sure, but I believe that's what the call will be. We have more substitutions by the Blue Storm. Looks like number 10, Kim, checked back in. Drennan, 14's out. And we will have a free kick for the Cougars. Quezada looking like he's going to put it back in play. Sends it over to Cates. Cates working up the field. Sends it through the middle. Tried to get it to Pena, but intercepted by Wilkinson, who sends it back. Tries to connect. Oh, nice play by Milliton to come out and make the play to deny Stifler a goal scoring chance there. Both guys down on the play. It looked like they got shin to shin there. Did you see that, Mr. Clark? It looked like they got shin to shin. They were both kicking at the ball at the same time, and it looked like their shins connected each other. That's pretty painful. Have you ever played? Mr. Clark's joined us in the booth here today. He's up here now. Have you ever played soccer, Mr. Clark? I had to do it one time in college because it was part of my curriculum. We had a team sports class, and we had to play soccer one time. And I got kicked in the shin so many times that game. And I had those pads on. That's not fun. That's no, those pads don't work all that much. That's not fun out there. So when you get kicked in the shin, I can see why they would lay down there for a little bit. You getting kicked in the shin. Oh, I was just playing defense, because back in my college days, I was way overweight and I didn't like to run, so I wanted to be in a position where I didn't. And then I eventually switched to goalie, so I didn't have to run at all. Us big guys, we don't like that running, and my knees can't handle it anymore either. Well, everybody's up, so it looks like we're all okay here. Doesn't look like anybody came out of the game, so Mulliton stays in, shaking it off. Looked like Stifler's still staying in. Yeah, we got everybody good. Inbound throw. Wilkinson sends it into the middle to Concordia. Concordia sends a drive on goal just high. Nice drive by Concordia there. Almost had it uh, figured out. That's almost like rocket science. What kind of arc do I have it land in the perfect spot? Cougars have it back. No, whistle's blown. I think they're going to give the ball back to Mercersburg over there. I don't know. It looks like Wesley might have got his hand caught in a cookie jar on something. They calling him for something. We got another new guy in there. I can't see that number. Is that 32 or 22? 22. 22 for the Cougars. Carlos Garcia. 22, Carlos Garcia in the game for the Cougars. Good to see him getting some playing time. Pepe trying to run it down. Gale, he got it. Body's hitting the deck, but here comes Williams. Gale's back up, and he's running. He's taking off. He got some speed down this right side. Gathers it, centering pass, but there's goalie for Mercersburg to stop it. Has a nice burst of speed down this right side by Gale there. Here comes Pepe to put a little pressure on the Blue Storm. Nice job, Pepe, on the steal, but Blue Storm still gathers it. Cackmore has it on the sideline. Ooh, I don't know who that's going to go to. I think they're giving it to, yes, Cackmore with the throw in. Gale, he gathers it up. Pena still has it, tries to feed it through to Pepe, but just off of his foot to Wilkinson, and he just sends it deep. Mulliton, goalie for the Cougars, sends it back down the other side over the head of the Mercersburg defender, but he gathers it in. Degano now has it for the Cougars. Weaves it back into the middle. Feeds it to Quezada. Quezada still has the ball. Back to Pena. Pena over to Pepe. Pepe back to Pena. Now it's clock killing time, I believe. Wesley Chung has it on his foot. Over on the far side. Into the middle. 27 Williams puts a drive on goal just high off the crossbar of the football goal, so it was a little bit higher than the soccer goal, but out of bounds, and Mercersburg will have a free kick, and it looks like maybe McGuire is going to take it this time. Is that 13 down there? Those numbers are so small on the front. I can't really see him. I'm believing that's McGuire. It looks like him. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but he puts it in play to Concordia. Might not have. Concordia still has it. Sends it in the middle. Back over to Concordia. Back to the middle. Sends it up, but there's 22 Garcia. The Cougars sends it down to Degano. Degano feathers a pass through. Stopped nicely over there. Kept in bounds, but eventually it did go out. And the Blue Storm will have a free kick. Looks like, not sure who it is again. It's getting dark and I can't see. Well, I mean, I can see, but the numbers, it's hard to see the numbers. Blue Storm will have, no, Chung throws in for the Cougars to Degano, back to Chung, over to Garcia, up to Degano. Chung has it now, working through the middle, weaves around to Concordia, tried to feed it to Pena in the middle, but doesn't get it. Kakmar is able to gather for the Cougars. To Cates, over to Garcia. Garcia feeds it over to Ghana. Does a nice job of keeping it in bounds. And now Chung has it. Nice spin move by Chung to get out of trouble. But there's the Storm, and Concordia gathers it in. Sends it back to his goalie. Under 2 minutes left in the game. Cougars up 8-1. And Kakmar gathers it in, sends it back to the goalie, Mulliton. And Mulliton's going to just send it up to Quezada. Quezada working the ball, tried to get it up the field, but deflected by a Storm defender. Quezada now has it to Degano. Degano working it, still working it. Tries to get it into the middle of the field, and he does. I didn't see who that went off of, but it's a goal for the Cougars. I did not see who it went off of. Degano did a nice job of working the ball up the field, weaving through traffic, and it got to the point to where the post of the bleachers was in my way, and I didn't really see whose foot it came off of. We'll give it to Degano for now. We'll have to check to get the official stat later on. Here comes, looked like McDowell feeding it up for the Blue Storm, but Kakmar will have a throw-in for the Cougars. Cates sends it back to Mulliton. Mulliton sends a deep drive up back into Storm territory, and the defender just kicks it out of bounds. Cougars will have a throw-in. Score is 9-1 Cougars, and under a minute left. And there's Gael with a drive on goal, but the goalie makes a nice stop, and he's down. That ball was coming at him pretty good. I think it might have hit him right off the face. It did. That was close range. Mercersburg goalie is up, and we're back running. 20 seconds left in the game. Ball into the middle here. Feeds it to Gael, and he scores. He scores for the Cougars. And it makes it 10-1. Cougars will win the game. That's okay. Game is. Final score here at Donald H. Jones Stadium. Kiski Cougars 10, Mercersburg Red Storm 1. Overall, just a total team performance by the Cougars. Many guys involved getting goals, and that'll win the game for the Cougars, putting a point on for the Centennial Cup. Thanks again for everybody watching. We hope you enjoyed the game. Next live stream will be not real sure. I know the next football game is the 14th. I'm not sure when the next home soccer game is, but we appreciate y'all being here, viewing, and hope